What's going on, guys? It's Jeb. So last night I ended up finishing out the FAL. So we have the Obsidian Kilo, FAL, and M4, and now we're currently on the FAMAS. If you're curious as to what an Obsidian FAMAS looks like, yep, there it is. It's Obsidian. It's never really anything special, kind of clean, but definitely not really worth the amount of work that we're doing here. But maybe one day this will all be worth it. It's not going to be, but it's fine. This is a class setup that I've been using here. We got the shorter barrel here because now I finally realized that the shorter barrel gives the better hip spread, not the long barrel or whatever. It's not that I didn't know that, but for this gun in particular, it just seems a little bit better if I just spam from the hip or whatever and it's just a shorter barrel. It just seems to hit a lot more. So I would recommend the longer barrel maybe in other situations or just not at all, but this is what I've been using anyway, so whatever. So short barrel, Merc 4 grip, 5 milliwatt laser for no activity, and the stipple to bring it up, and then sleight of hand to just reload faster whenever I run out of bullets. Technically speaking, since it gives us like 30 rounds or whatever, I could basically get 10 bursts. If I manage to, all I gotta do is get a quick little reload in there and we're back to it again. Use code JEB, by the way. I got bills to pay. The video might look different or maybe not, but basically I have my graphical settings turned all the way down so I'm able to get the maximum FPS I can get here. I'm just capped at 250. More than that from time to time, but it's just kind of redundant at that point. Realize, you know, running around with these 240 hertz monitors ain't really doing me any good if I'm not getting all those frames. Now, given for the videos, I mainly just turn this stuff on to try to make it look better, and then in the process of me putting on that filter, I end up losing like 60 frames or something like that, so it's pretty nuts. When I turn it off though, yeah, we get a good amount of frames even when I am recording. Oh, so also a lot of people have been getting like these early access career versions of UFC 4. Thought I would end up getting one because EA, their UFC Twitter, ended up following me like a couple weeks ago when we were talking about it and they were coming out with the announcements and stuff. But apparently the version that people are getting and making their videos on now, they'll have to actually re-download the game when the full game comes out, and they would have to restart their entire thing over again. So, I mean, honestly, even if they did send me an early thing, I might just practice, probably wouldn't even make early videos on it and just wait for the full game to come out anyway. It's only a couple weeks away, so pretty close to coming out regardless, so hopefully we'll be done with this before any of this request stuff comes out. If I stay consistent here, I could probably finish this, I don't know. With shipment being gone, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see. So, with all of that early, you know, content coming out and stuff for the game and all the people being able to get access to all this different stuff to be able to see what's really going on with this game, maybe the reason I'm not getting it is because I wasn't entirely being approval of it. I have no idea, but I'm gonna be real. Looking at this game, they seem like they just went all out on this customization slash career mode, and they really don't give a fuck about anything else. They got rid of Ultimate Team and then all of a sudden think that for whatever reason we want to wear masks in the octagon? I don't know. I thought like those weird screenshots of people like literally wearing a shirt in the middle of the fights and stuff was kind of weird. Like actually wearing full-blown pants and shit too. You can actually customize your character to fight like this. It's just weird. It's almost like you're playing like FIFA or something like that, and then all of a sudden you can like take Messi or Ronaldo's head and then replace it with a luchador mask, or you can put a head on his head and replace it with a tiger head. It really is as ridiculous as I'm explaining it. You truly can make an entire thing based off of somebody that has a tiger for a head. That's not the only thing either. There's a whole bunch of ridiculous stuff. I mean, I'm all for like weird and goofy and wacky stuff, so long as it at least falls in the realm of realistic way that an MMA fight goes. I knew that there was going to be customization, but I didn't know that you would actually be wearing it in your fights. It's just really weird and just honestly over the top and just fucking stupid looking. Now, I'm not going to do that with requests or anything like that, but man, if we end up being online, there's going to be some monstrosities out there that people are going to create, because the character creation stuff seems great. Like, it doesn't look bad whatsoever. There's a lot of choice, don't get me wrong. Man, they put a lot of effort into such a weird thing. So with the UFC 4 career mode at least looking pretty nice, everything else kind of looks like a joke though, to be honest. If they're gonna make this game so goofy and over the top, why not bring back the UFC 2 knockout physics then? That's the kind of thing that just is so upsetting. If at least the game looked fun in the process of knocking and decapitating people, if you're gonna make it look silly and over the top, why are you making the knockouts so boring? Like when a dude gets uppercut, I want to see the back of his head literally crack his spine, you feel me? Like I don't care how stupid and ridiculous that sounds when I can replace my head with a literal fucking tiger. I can literally put on animated pants. I'm talking about tight animated pants that literally are moving. Those don't even exist in real life. This isn't about being weird or wacky. Like, this is some bullshit. And also, speaking of the UFC stuff, tonight we got Edmund Shabazian versus Derek Brunson. It's a middle of the pack fight here, basically like the quote gatekeeper to the elite. That's what, you know, people call Derek Brunson. He doesn't want to be a gatekeeper. He wants to actually be in the top, in the discussion, you know, there with the title and everything, and he hasn't been. He's had his setbacks and stuff like that, but he's a good fighter. He's fighting Edmund Shabazian, who's a very, very young kid, and got some, you know, promising results and stuff like that, but we haven't seen him against actual, like, pretty stiff competition. And Derek Brunson, again, you know, kind of serving his role as the gatekeeper, where if he can beat him, this kid is for real. I know he wants to shed that whole thing, but even beating this kid, I don't know if that's really going to help his case with trying to get him to move up, but obviously he's going to be defending his spot. So if Brunson can manage to win this, and then maybe he can get a top 5 fight, who knows? I'll go with Edmund here to win the fight over Brunson. Not entirely sure how. We'll see though. And also, a lot of people have been tweeting at me and adding me and stuff. There's, I guess, leaked gameplay of the new sniper rifle that's supposed to be coming. Now, I don't know if this sniper rifle is supposed to be coming in this season. From what I know and from what I've seen leaked and things like that, it seems like in Season 5 we're going to be getting the, some sort of like little submachine gun that's been in the game for a long time. And we're also supposed to be getting the AN-94. So we're going to be getting like a little SMG, not entirely sure how strong or good it's going to be. We've had the Vector recently. Seems just like a small, you know, fast fire rate little SMG or whatever. So, you know, a good idea of what its role is at least. So, and we got the AN-94. I know a lot of people, especially a bunch of gun enthusiasts or whoever, you know, knows about all this stuff, they don't like to call the guns by the quote improper names. The AN-94 from Black Ops 2 not basically the Black Ops 2 version of an AK? Like, let's be honest. And then when you go and look at the Galil, and a lot of people go and say that it's not the Galil, even though in the files it's literally named Galil. Now, whether it's the correct, you know, model and all that other stuff, I don't really care, but if they act similarly, I'm going to just call it an AK. And to me, the Galil seemed like a faster firing, easier to control, slightly weaker AK. Overall, as a performing weapon, it's a bit more versatile than the AK. It's a bit more accurate. It's got a bit more to it. In my opinion, they have their own strengths and weaknesses. This AN-94, I cannot even imagine what it can do uniquely, other than just be another AK. The only way and reason that you would be excited for this kind of gun, in my opinion, is if it just ends up being the new meta and it's like the new strongest, you know, AR or whatever. It's just not very exciting sounding, to be honest. But in the files, there was references to 2 different sniper rifles that I brought up before. It was the R700 and the Intervention. Apparently, there is very, very early gameplay of the R700 that I've seen, so not apparently, but... And it also looks like that the R700 looks more like a marksman rifle to me, just looking at the gameplay. So the gameplay looks entirely legit. Obviously, the gun isn't done. There's not really much, you know, texture to it or anything like that, but just from the way that it looks, it seems like you can actually use this thing without the scope and everything, and most of the sniper rifles, if not all the sniper rifles on this game, you have to have some kind of scope on it. I don't know, the R700, just from looking at the gameplay, the person that was playing didn't really do that much with it. They shot a few times or whatever, but I didn't see them try to test the, you know, how quick exactly can you shoot it and all this other stuff. I mean, looking at it base-wise without a sniper scope on it, it seems to scope in pretty quickly, and it's probably going to fall under the category of like right around and near the Car 98. Not entirely sure if it'll be maybe slightly slower than the Car 98, but a little bit stronger and more consistent. Or maybe, you know, it's like a shot to the stomach or something like that, but it's still faster than the other sniper rifles in the game. I don't really know where it fits in, and honestly, I don't really care, but, and then there's obviously the rumors about the Intervention and stuff, but I haven't seen any gameplay on that, but I've seen the gameplay for the R700, and I just, ooh, I cannot wait for that. I don't think that it's probably going to come this season. I feel like that's probably not going to happen, because they're going to be coming out with the AN-94, this little SMG thing, the dual blades that are apparently supposed to be coming as well because of that Mara padding that everybody ended up seeing. I can't imagine they would fit a sniper rifle in there as well for that season. I would assume that it's probably a Season 6 item. So, I mean, that sucks, but we're used to that, aren't we?